Hello, everybody. Welcome back to week 2, day 2 of Alpha 2 Omega Lasers. We have been slowly but surely working on our event and our Concord Pass. So a nice little bit of skill points there. I think today I want to start scaling into medium weapons. We do have oh, what's it called? I can't remember anymore. This thing. The Omen Trainer. So we have the Omen Trainer. We got it for free from the
How are you
from the
feeling?
Road to Set Sail right here. So we might as well upgrade to it when we get the chance. It's not necessarily an amazing ship. Hi Jim, how you doing today? But it'll do if we need it. Alright, so we are also at level 6 here on the Concord Pass. This actually should put us at Tech 6, if I remember correctly. With 375,000 skill points, I think that puts us at Tech 6. Yes. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and finish off our Destroyer command there. Hello, Azim, how you doing today? And we are gonna get our tech level up. We are now tech level 6. Which means we can use sniper mode and things like that. Disruptors, cruisers. Pretty nice. And we've got, like, almost 3 months until Tech 7. Oh yeah, 4 hours. Jenner did 7 earlier, I think. If I remember correctly. Or was that yesterday? Either way. That's a lot. Alright, so we've got 416,000 skill points to use. And we have 5.1 million skill point, ISK. So, how do I want to go about this? Like I said, I do want to upgrade our skills here to cruiser level. So, I think we're going to need cruiser command. It's pretty cheap to get. We can put it at level 4 pretty easily. And then we also want to go with cruiser defense. We'll put that at level 4. We also need cruiser engineering. It's nice that we're able to put so much into it. And then after that, we actually need to put skills into medium lasers. So that means medium laser operation and upgrade are both needed. We're going to put these at level 4 as well. Hello, 2KEP. How you doing today? That's what's really nice about... Ooh, we can fully max out our medium laser upgrade. About having the Concord Pass and timing it with the skill points. Because when you upgrade you can start really doing it. Yeah, Sentient Incursion is definitely worth it. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do our skill points here. Actually, do I still need... Do I still need... Destroyer anything? Let's check. Okay, so we're maxed out on our Destroyer skills here, which is nice. Gives us a decent amount of resistance across the board. Actually, we're slowly getting better here. Okay, and from our growth fund, we've got 25,000 skill points there. Yeah, I think it'll be good if we can, if we can just train the laser upgrade to level 5. Oh wait, level 4. Okay. Level 4. That's fine. Okay, we've got 33,000 skill points left. I think for this, I might want to go with, like, scrap metal reprocessing. Or we can put it into trade and accounting. Accounting might be better so we can reduce taxes. Okay, what do we have? Yeah, I think I'd rather do accounting. Yeah, Sancha, I would say, is definitely worth it, especially if you're a high-sec player and you're capable of running it. You'll make a lot more doing that than you would most of the time running labs as a single player. Hello, Mano. How you doing today? Alright, so let's think about what we need for this Omen Trainer. We have a decent amount of the skills now. If you guys did not see it at the end of the stream yesterday, this is our Omen Trainer. It's got a really cool skin on it. Yep. Yep. So this is actually the research nanocore that we got. That cruiser research nanocore. With the Omen Holy something or other skin. Fury of the Throne. So it makes for a really nice, like, dual shade kind of ship. It is nice that this research core gave us 16% damage, So now I feel like it's more worthwhile to actually fly the ship. It's not amazing, but it's certainly better than nothing. So we're gonna have to pick up some medium lasers, some medium, armor repairers. I'm pretty well certain I'm not gonna be using a afterburner on this Omen trainer, because there's only 3 low slots. It's probably best that I go with like a yellow, a red, and an armor rep. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't use that. I would like to use the heatsink, but I don't know if I'll need it or not. Okay, so we need a medium armor rep, I need a Nosferatu, a medium Nosferatu. Let's see what we can get on the market. Yeah, so let's think about this. Quite a good range on these. Hello, Viltra. How you doing tonight? I mean, we're talking about 30 kilometers of range, stop on these lasers, which means we'll probably have, like, 40 with skills. Maybe, like, 35. Could be useful for us if we need to stay at range. Or we can go with the pulse lasers. They are a bit cheaper, so that would be nice. Still 12.6, which is really good compared to what we're doing right now with the Destroyer. I'm thinking I just really like the brawling style, so let's go ahead and pick up 4 of these. So, I'm gonna teach you something a little bit weird here. If you ever don't want to just, like, buy 2 and then buy 1, you can come down here to the next one. If you put in 4 here, it will actually buy out the previous ones that are in that station, and it will refund you the amount difference between what you bought and the ones that it actually gave you. It's the way that I typically buy a lot of my stuff, because I am way too lazy to go through and manually do multiple purchases. Alright, so we got our railguns. Let's go to a medium Nosferatu here. These are definitely expensive. Okay. And then I guess I need another Weatherfire. That should handle that in. Now we need our medium armor repairer. I'd like something a little bit better, so going with a Gauger would be nice, but we could maybe, well, we could almost buy an Imperial Navy. Okay, we'll go with the Gauger. It gives us 372 armor versus what we would normally get, which is 319. Yep, we have to spend ISK to make ISK. So that's our upgrade there. I am still debating on that whole, afterburner though. We won't have any kind of drone here. Not for a while. Alright, slight upgrade in capability here. $212 to $240. That would kind of be worth it. Going for $240. What are we thinking? Is 28 DPS worth it? We still need rigs and everything too. I forgot about that. $400 armor rep is pretty good. I'll give it that. Alright, let's have a look at combat rigs. Yeah, we'll have to look at, like, some lower-end combat rigs. They're not too expensive. Okay, so I am getting a damage bonus from the nanopore. Do I want to go with double activation time then? Ooh, I kind of have no choice. Buy all those off the market real quick. Okay, now I know for sure. Do I go with double burst aerator? Or do we go one burst aerator and maybe go with one like healing amount to help us in those harder missions that we're gonna have today? Shield rings. I need armor rings. We have 25% extra healing on our 370 armor rep. I think that would be really good, actually. I can rely on the tank with that. Okay, so we've got the nanophobe here, and we've got a burst aerator there. 259. Now, if I take that off, we're at 229. I can deal with that. I'd rather have a second resistance here. Okay, probably better if I go with, like, a reactive. I don't know. That's a hard choice. Do we go for the extra DPS? Or do we go for a little bit better of a tank? Yeah, I'm thinking that, but... Well, let's just check the market, see if we can pick one up. That's a little bit better than a Mark III. So we need low slots, weapon upgrades, heatsink because we're lasers. Normally we'd be using one of these since we're Tech 6, we can use Mark 5 or any of the faction stuff. That's 12.9 damage increase. This is 14. I always just gotta check them all to see if there's any that are, like, really cheap. And there's really not. 939. So 2% extra damage. Once again, we have that question of, is 2% 12.94 versus 14.72? So 1 point something percent extra damage. Activation time is 5.35 versus 4.71. Yeah, it's probably worth it. So 267. We are getting 465 armor repair every cycle. And we are cap stable, just barely though. I think the first thing we need to do when we get the chance is upgrade to a better Nosferatu. Now, as for drones, the only drone that I really want, and I don't even know if we can use it, it's gonna be a salvage drone. But these are expensive. Talking 119 million. But it would help us collect things in our combat. Alright, so there it is. There is our upgraded capabilities here. Let's go to our encounter page. Set it to advanced. And I just realized that I've been completely ignoring this. Alright, bunch of skill points now. I forgot we even had this. 15 days and 30 days left there. Alright, 278,000. Oh, Riley. Yep, you missed us, fitting up the Omen Trainer. Alright, what do we do here with 278,000? I'm thinking we need at least to get, what is it, level 2 here, so we can use another drone. Well, level 3 gives us the extra drone. Okay. Yeah, the ship model is pretty good, but the ship itself is kinda rough. Alright, let's go back to lasers here. And we'll start working on our laser operation. That'll cut off half the time off of that. So we'll only have 3 days to level 5 on that. And I think I need to pick up at least a laser drone of some kind. These are going to be quite expensive, to be honest. Since we're going with lasers, I'm kinda limiting myself personally for laser drones. To pick up, like, a small laser drone. It won't help a whole lot, but if we have to kill something, it'll start to help. Funny enough, we can actually use any of these without being limited. Alright, we have one laser drone for now. We're getting 13 DPS out of this one drone. Which, surprisingly enough, is kind of more DPS than what we had on our first frigate. Think about that. Alright, there is our ship fitted up. Let us head to perimeter.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
Need to stack all
Warp
these
drive
weapons.
active.
Oh, this is a mess. Okay, so that's a passive module, and these are active.
Destination
Oh my,
reached.
what did I just do? There we go. Alright, we're gonna refresh our missions here. This will give us the harder missions that we have just unlocked at Tech 7 and Tech 6. So, we're gonna grab all the ones that are 2 jumps away that are green. Because those will all be in the same system. We should be pretty well capable of running these missions, especially since we're kind of high-skilled right now.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
Okay, so checking on the range of our pulse lasers, 13 kilometers is our optimal range. So I'm gonna set... I should really just set our optimal range to like 8. So that Nosferatu has the best chance.
Warp drive active.
We'll see how this goes. If we need to, we can drop back down to the destroyer. And we should still be able to do these missions with the destroyer.
Destination reached.
There's a medium recon fleet here. I cannot do that with this ship.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
Alright, 1,000 damage on our first shot.
We're under attack.
1,300 there. Yeah, that doesn't turn on anymore. Those are passive modules. You can see here in my fittings if it doesn't just mess everything up. Ugh. You can see it's all active. Yeah, no, it's not bugged. They changed them to a passive module. Yep. Yep, so now they no longer consume any capacitor at all. You'll see here, there's no capacitor need, nothing like that. And they also reduced the amount of power grid that, armor repairers take up. Nope, shield still uses capacitor. Yeah, Armor Tank's got quite a nice buff recently for that. So that means the only way you're gonna kill an Armor Tank is by brute force. You couldn't even, like, nuke them out, because they have passive tank anyway. Now, the reactive armor hardener is like it was. It is an active module, but the adaptive is passive. It makes it a lot nicer for laser ships, in general, though. A lot less capacitor need.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Definitely taking some damage here. I think I would actually like, double Nosferatu. Just so I know I don't have to worry about this capacitor. I don't know. I just think it makes armor more reasonable to use. It definitely gives them a different playstyle. Alright, Mano, thank you for joining in. Have a good night. Bye bye. yeah, this is just a pretty reasonable upgrade for us. It works out. It's not like the drone is doing a whole lot for us. Like 21 damage there. A 39 damage hit there. A 30 damage hit there. So, it's like not really that useful. Up until we get ourselves a medium drone. We gotta get so close to him to use our weapon fire. There we go.
Enemy ships
By the way,
detected.
3.
We're under attack.
There is a Nosferatu on us. Overall, our capacitor is doing fine. I would like it to be a little bit higher, but that's okay. Yeah, our tank is just fine now. what I'm hoping for today is that we make a whole lot of this. And by a whole lot, I'd like to see somewhere around 10 million made today. That would be really nice if we can make about 10 million-ish.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
I think if we can upgrade to an actual Omen, that would be a pretty nice upgrade.
We're under attack.
Yeah, there's just not quite enough tank for this kind of thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to drop the, heatsink and go for some extra tank. Whether it be a second red or yellow. Either way. Just seeing that damage come in is kinda sketchy. I'm pretty sure it's because this ship here has a long-range weapon.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, Damage is definitely having a little bit easier time dealing with me than I am dealing with it. So I need more resistance. It's not terribly off-putting, but it's definitely kinda sketchy. This is also the reason why I really like double armor repair, because that second one, while it might sit passive a lot, it's just those couple of times where you might really need it for like a minute or so. And it'll make a huge difference in your survivability. Ooh, 1.7 million there. Look at that. 1.8 million. As a bounty tick. Very good. What took us pretty much two and a half hours to do, well, like an hour. No, like an hour and a half. Hour and a half to 2 hours to do yesterday with the Destroyer, we've now done in 20 minutes. Very nice. Like I said, you do have to spend your ISK in order to make ISK. So, there is sort of a limitation to that, but generally, the more heavily tanked, the more damaging you are, the better modules you have, the more successful you'll be in clearing anomalies and PvP, kind of. You don't always want to be throwing the most expensive thing on your ship in the event that you do lose it, but it's not a huge loss right
Enemy
now.
ships detected. We're under attack. We're being warp
So
scrambled.
that is a scrambler. It is the guy that I think it is. Cool.
Warning. Capacitor running low.
Okay, we are gonna set Gina as our home, just in case we need to warp out here. We shouldn't have to, but it is a good idea if we keep in mind that we are pretty easy to kill right now. We're very close to this wreck. We should be able to pick it up now. Once again, getting stuck on the encounter items. I'm thinking that generally the tank is fine, but I would rather have either a second armor repair or have a extra armor resistance. I'm not sure which one would be best for us though. I think a little bit more resistance would save us. But having the second armor repairer would mean that we could really out-tank some damage. I mean, we're doubling our healing by having that second armor repair. So I think that's what I'll do. If I'm struggling with the standard missions, that means the ones that I have that say advanced are probably going to kill me. My goodness. A lot of stuff going on here in the system. What we could also do is we could theoretically drop the web of fire, but I really don't think that's a good idea right now. Alright, let's go head back to Gina. We'll take care of those couple of changes. Man, what a good looking ship this is. With these colors. I love the iridescent hue that it has on its armor.
Warp drive active.
Alright, so that mission gave us 450,000 for the mission itself. There's a large vanguard here.
Warp
That is
drive
for
active.
battleships. And very tanky battleships at that.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted.
Alright. Let us get a second armor repair. And we got that. And then I guess I just need to look and see if I can get a better Nosferatu. Help offset that kind of stuff. And I need to look into the capacitive control circuit and semiconductor. Yeah, still just gonna be way too much. Okay. Then we'll go to our engineering rigs. And we'll pick up one of each of these. Okay, so now, with everything running here, I can have 4 minutes and 43 seconds of just full blast healing, as much as I need. Without the Nosferatu latching onto something, I have 2 minutes, which should be more than enough for me to kill a couple of things if I need to. Now, I am still cap stable without using the second armor repair, so we'll only use that second armor repair when we need it. We lose a little bit of DPS, but it's not a huge loss.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
Thank you for the follow, Yamato. Sorry I missed you about 30 minutes ago. Didn't even notice.
Warp drive active. Destination reached.
Alright, while we're here, we'll just do our reset. See if we can get some more missions. Alright, we got quite a few missions to run through now.
Autopilot engaged.
Very nice.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Alright. We are in
Destination
system.
reached. Warp drive active.
And this should go a little bit better for us.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
So I don't even need to use the armor repair yet. I should really wait for that shield to tick down, and then start healing later on. Alright. Here we go. Like I said, most of the time, that second armor repairer is going to sit passively. But there are going to be times where we need it. Especially now that we can actually encounter battle cruisers in some of these advanced missions. So we need to keep an eye on that. It's going pretty well now. This mission hasn't pushed us yet, but I feel a lot better knowing that I have the ability to have double the healing.
Enemy ships
Here
detected.
comes wave 2. Ooh, a Mark 5 afterburner. Nice. That's something we're gonna need in the
We're
future.
under attack.
I doubt we'll need it anytime soon because I'm thinking about doing the Phantasm and the Fiend when we hit Omega, so it won't be that useful to us. But if we find we need the afterburner for anything that makes us move a little bit faster, then we'll have it. It's taking a little while to kill that cruiser. $1,224 damage. That's pretty good. Now, keep in mind that we would not be doing as well on killing things if we did not have the research nanocore that we have.
Enemy ships detected.
Well, they spawned kind of far away, didn't they?
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Waiting and seeing what ship is gonna do what. They're all kind of the same speed. And we're starting to get within the damage range. See here, this is one of those times where I will just pulse the second armor repair to give me a better chance. But it really wasn't necessary. They're all still so far away from us. Alright. So the reason this one is taking so long is because it's getting repairs from this other Thorax, or Thorax. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Now that the bounties are quite a bit better, I really wonder if I should change some of my missions. Alright.
Fleet warp.
I guess I'm still in a fleet.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
I think generally a good goal for this level is to try to make about 10 million a day. It is going to take a little bit of time. You're talking about, for us, it'll take us a few hours, I think, to make 10 million. But if you can maintain about 10 million or 8 million, 5 million a day, that's a good start to try to build up your account. That's how I started pretty much all of my accounts, my main one plus all of the others. I usually have some kind of ISK related goal to achieve every day. But it's not like if you don't do it, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. It's just, if you have that goal, you're guaranteed to be moving forward at a well enough pace that when you hit the next tech level, you'll be okay to get a new ship. At 10 million a day, that would put us pretty well in line with trying to get hold of, like a succubus pretty early on. I don't know why we're moving so slow, it's a little weird. There we go. Oh. But yeah, at 10 million a day, we'll be able to make about 260 million, which is kind of what we need to get a succubus. And that's gonna take us like 26 days or so. But we also have Concord Fast. And so as we do our Concord Fast for this month, at sometime near the end of that, we're going to be able to pick up one of these skill boxes. And with that, we can make about 500 million at a minimum. At a maximum, we can probably make somewhere around 3 or 4 billion-ish, which would really set us up for success. So that's the goal. We're just gonna kind of be working on our Concord Pass, and we'll be working on the event manual. That's what the, this thing is. The blue and white galaxy. This is the event manual.
Ships detected. We're under attack.
Once again, we are caught on the geography. We are caught on all of this stuff. It's quite annoying. Okay, so you can see we're taking a lot more damage since we're not moving. this is one of those times where I personally use that second armor rep to keep up with the damage. We did 1.4 million instead of 1.8 million, but that is okay. I will take the 400,000 loss in income to be able to survive things that we couldn't survive with the other fit. Which we're gonna have to encounter today. Already we've done about 4 million. It's almost too bad that I used my commendations yesterday, but it also put us in a position to be flying this ship today. So it kind of goes hand in hand. We used it to advance ourselves, and then from now on we can use our commendations on better bounty ticks when we have them. Let me check on how much it's going to cost us to get a Mauler. I mean, I guess we have two options. We can go for the standard Omen, which I can find here. It'll give us a little bit of laser activation time. Those are about 23 million on the market. It would take us 2.5 days to do that. Or we can go for a Mauler, which is quite a bit better, but also quite a bit more expensive. I would prefer the Mauler, to be honest, but I won't turn down the Omen as an option for us.
Enemy ships detected. We're being warp scrambled. We're under attack.
Yeah, this should be a wave that pushes us pretty hard. Hello, TV. How you doing today? Welcome, welcome. How you doing? We are just kind of clearing anomalies here. On the Alpha to Omega playthrough here. No. No, I do not. Like I said, this is our alpha to omega playthrough. I normally fly capital ships. I have a super carrier of my own. I have a Wyvern that I fly every Monday for Dormant Realm carries. Yep, I have this game on a emulator, so I am using mouse and keyboard. Though mostly I just use the mouse here. It is also on mobile devices, so if you wanted to use it on your phone, you can play on your phone as well. I just prefer having it on my computer, because it's easier for me to see things, I can stream it easier, and it's a lot more comfortable for me. You know, that's a good question. I have a iPhone SE 2020, and it runs the game just fine. So, and I know a few other people that have older phones than that, and they are having to run it on, like, low settings and things like that. Yes, the SE 2020, exactly. So that'll give you a roundabout of what you should probably have to run this game. But if you are on Android, it takes a lot less to actually run this game. Alright, let's try one of these with a battlecruiser spawn. See what happens.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
As for what you see me doing right here on my computer, it is using... let me find it here. It is using 11 gigs between the game you see here, and OBS in the background. Through an emulator. Yeah, RAM usage, Jenner. Awesome. Ooh, nice. I didn't think we could actually get one of these from this. Interesting. I wonder if they changed the loot drop of these missions a while back and we just didn't know about it. Because I can't say that I have ever gotten one of these Mark V warp core stabilizers from a mission like this. It usually drops from mining enemies. Boy, this does take a while. It's so bad that I'm so used to my extraordinarily powerful carriers and dreadnoughts that I just think we're going really slow. But actually, we're doing fine. For our first day in Tech 6, this is more than enough. I'm gonna turn off my armor repair here, because I don't think there's any incoming damage from that enemy ship. So I'll just use this time to have the Nosferatu pick up some extra capacitor for me.
Enemy ships detected.
Alright, next wave. Nothing crazy here.
We're
Kind
under
of similar to what
attack.
we're used to. This poor drone is so useless. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and use our second armor repair here, just to keep up with the damage. This is the enemy we are shooting at right now, and that's us crossing back behind here. We picked up quite a good selection of stuff there, which is nice. Nothing we can really use, unfortunately, but we could maybe sell a couple of those items, or we can just break them down and into minerals, and then sell the minerals. A little bit of a freeze up here as it tries to load the map.
Enemy ships detected.
Alright, so this wave does not have the battle cruiser. Good.
We're under attack.
We are going to take some pretty heavy damage, though. It's not an easy wave. And so we're just going to try to cycle this armor repair every once in a while, just so we can keep up with the damage. Next, we're gonna take care of this Algos, which is locking us in place. Alright. One last little ship to go, and then we got the 2 cruisers. And that was a perfect example of how I use that second armor repairer in high DPS situations. I think doubling the healing by having that second armor repairer was way better choice than going for a little bit extra armor resistance. Well, Nosferatu is keeping us topped up pretty well. We're not over-consuming our capacitors, so that's good. I think the ship is exactly where it needs to be. A little bit better skills would be nice. Being somewhere around... Oh, I'd like to be somewhere around 300 DPS. But I don't think we'll get that far up. We've got maybe like 10% DPS increase that we can get from our skills. Before we need to start looking into another ship to get higher DPS numbers. Alright, let's do security threat.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
You know, we probably could get enough ISK today to get the actual Omen. It wouldn't be that far off. It'd be a nice increase in capability as well. Extra defense, extra DPS. One extra low slot, which means we can add a little bit more tank. Or we can add our DPS module in, because this bit works just fine. I'm thinking we'll add the heatsink onto the extra low slot. And that would set us up really nicely for Tech 5. Hello, Snoopy. How you doing today? Welcome. Or Tech 6, I guess I should say, because we're not Tech 5 anymore. Oh, you had a pretty good time, huh? Tell me about it. Yeah, that sounds like a good time right there. You get any success there? Any kill mails? Only some ventures. Okay.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Yeah, that seems a little bit overkill. But then again, I used to do it with a hound, So it's not that big. Yeah, Losec does seem pretty quiet nowadays. Nothing, like, insanely crazy. Goodness, we're already at like 6 million ISK. And we've already spent a whole bunch from yesterday. Yeah, I'm sure when you did that first warp, there was a dust cloud left behind in the shape of an Orthros. Oh boy. Half a year. Oh, at least that's better than some of my ships. Some of my ships I haven't touched in a long time. That's usually why I sell them or give them away. If I don't touch it in like 6 months to a year, I'll probably end up getting rid of it.
Enemy ships detected.
No battlecruiser here.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
I'm surprised at how little DPS is actually coming in on this mission. we'll have some missions where I absolutely need to use that second armor repair, but then you've got missions like this where it's like, yeah, I could use the second armor repair, but it's not really necessary. The one is generally enough. There goes some of that DPS. I was waiting on that DPS to spike. Yeah, it shouldn't be too long at all before we hit that 10 million goal.
Warp drive
Nice.
active.
Another 1.6 million for us. One more bounty tick and we'll be pretty well off.
We're under attack.
Anytime we see these thorax
We're
enemies,
under attack.
they usually have higher DPS and longer range, so we gotta be careful of them. It is pretty unfortunate that the old way of making this just doesn't exist anymore through Concord Pass. But it still kind of exists, just in a different form. Now it's through the skill chip crates. So right now, if we want to make it to Omega, we need 170 flex to get Omega Basic. What that comes out to is about 2 billion ISK. That is a long way off. Once we hit Tech 7, I absolutely need to start doing Dormant Realm carries. Or at least being carried in Dormant Realm, I should say. This will be where you guys really get to help me out with this playthrough. Being able to get Dormant Realms in Tech 7 will really cut the amount of effort we have to put into this playthrough. Quite a lot.
Enemy ships detected.
Worst case scenario, I carry myself with my ult.
We're under attack.
Look at this guy, he's actively trying to run away from me. Luckily, I'm fast enough to catch him. Now the damage should be pretty well lowered. yeah, I'm hoping we can work together to do some Dormant Realms at least. I also want to see if we can do Sansha stuff by the time I hit Tech 7. Because if we can just get one drop from the Sansha enemies, which would be the Nosferatu. That Nosferatu would make a huge, huge difference. Because that's like 300 million ISK if we sell one of those. Along with the Scrambler that we can get. Both of those would make a huge difference for us. Have you guys been looking at the new Resident Evil? Man, that looks so good. I'm so glad they went back to actual horror and not what they did for Resident Evil Village. That was such a bad Resident Evil game, in my opinion. Village had, like, very, very few. Very, very few horror elements to it. Yeah, there was, like, werewolves and vampires and stuff like that, but, like, none of it was necessarily horrifying. There wasn't moments where you would sit there and go, oh my god, get me out of here. Not in the same regard that this new Resident Evil has. This new one is pretty great. And they went all in on the blood effects. It's crazy. Yeah, I'd love to have a faction cruiser at some point. Phantasm, and then we can work our way into a Fiend. That would be a lot of fun. Have it with faction fittings. Kind of interesting. Interesting. I was actually surprised that the the damage there didn't actually get negated by that healing. I thought we would overrep. Yeah, I saw that. He's been trying to sell it for the last couple of hours. I wonder if it's still available. Nope. It is still available, but look at the price he's put on it. That's ridiculous. Yep, when I hit Tech 7, Jenner, you and Snoopy get to carry me through DR. Unless somebody else wants to carry me. It would really help us out for making money. Alright, we have one more mission left, I believe, because this will give us our bounty tick, and that'll put us at 10 million.
Warp drive active.
That is a pretty good chunk of ISK that we have made so far, in a very reasonable time.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
I can definitely say this has been a very successful game. We got ourselves a cruiser, we got it fit, and we're able to run even the hardest missions that the Tech 6 and 7 missions can drop on us. Now, we haven't seen, like, the hardest mission, which I believe pays out, like, almost $1 million. But it does have a battlecruiser spawn, so... it'll be interesting if we can find that in the next coming days. But by then, I think we'll upgrade to a regular, trying to think of the name of it. Yeah, it would be these missions. 1.5 million is what they pay out. well, we should be in a regular Omen by then. We'll have an extra low slot for extra DPS or tank if we need it. So, that won't be a problem. It's funny that my ship does not look nearly as good in space. Because I really like the way this whole color shift looks. That blue to red. It's so good. It's just, you don't see it here in space, unfortunately. Barely see it. Alright, that put us at 10 million there. Look at that, 10,014,000. Boy, I'm good at what I do. That only took us 2.5 hours to make 10 million-isk. And realistically, it was actually only 2 hours because we spent half an hour building this ship, talking about everything, going and refitting it. So, about 2 hours to make 10 million, 5 million an hour, without commendations, is pretty good. With commendations, that's like 20 million for the 2 hours that we've done. Which is way better. Which pretty much means we can get the regular Omen in about what is it, 2.5 to 3 hours worth of grinding. If we use commendations. That's not bad. It would take us, at this rate, like 5 hours to make the 26 million. Somewhere like that. To get the regular Omen. If we don't use combinations. I'm kind of starting to see a pattern here. Every step up is about 6 hours right now. I need to check Concord fast real quick. Okay, so at level 9, which we won't be able to get this week, I don't think. Yeah, not this week. But at level 9, we will be able to get, hopefully, another chip that we can sell. And then we have to make the choice of, do we sell the data cores? What are we thinking? I can get 57 million right now if I sell the data cores. But realistically, I should keep it for when we get an actual nano core.
Warning, capacitor running low.
That's what happens when you don't use your Nosferatu. That was the capacitor alert. It happens at 30% capacitor. And it's just telling you that you are running out of capacitor to run your modules. I don't think we'll need it, to be honest. That's cannons. So it's about 260 million to get a succubus. And it's about 230 million to get a core. I have a message here. Ah. Fiend. Yep. What a monster. Look at that thing. That is awesome. Large shield booster as well. That's insane.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
Hey, this one that's coming at light speed toward us. That is gonna be the one with the slam on it. Yeah. Yeah, that thing is insane. See, I don't see why that ship, Fiend, could not do DR, 3. Or DR5, I should say. You put an afterburner on there, and it should be pretty well set for that. Well, I'll definitely say that the Omen Trainer is performing a lot better than I thought it would. But, I do have to keep in mind that I do have a nanocore on here that's giving me 16% extra damage. And that's just not something I can ignore. I don't think that it would be bad without the nanocore either. It's just performing better than I thought it would. Yeah, Fiend is definitely gonna be a fun project. But we gotta do a Phantasm first. Oh, man. Are you able to get the blue and white nanocore with the sleeper cruiser nanocore on there? I actually think we can still get the sleeper nanocores, right? For the cruisers? Yeah. Oh, it doesn't go on. Okay, so you'd have to choose just one of these. And it would have to be the, it would have to be the integrated activation. Because that would be even better. Having, like, a minute and a half of really high resistance values. Alright, and that takes care of that today.
Autopilot engaged.
We did very well. Alright, we're gonna head back to Gino. And we'll call it a day. Hopefully by then we'll get the, last little bit of our bounty tick here. Not sure how far off we are from that.
Warp drive active.
Oh. Okay, so the blue and white Nanoforce cannot go on a Fiend or a Phantasm. Only the Succubus gets it. And I
Warp
think
drive
maybe the Nightmare, but the Fiend and the Phantasm don't get it. Huh. Yeah, look at that. 30% resistance. And then all of the disruption resistance. Also note here, it says additionally it becomes
Warp drive
immune to the interference of warp scramblers on micro-warp drives. I did not think this Nanocore did that. That's actually really insane.
Destin docking request accepted.
Alright, let's go ahead and grab our skills, or our rewards, I should say. Nice, we made it to level 6 there. Yeah, basically useless on Sansa's ship for that, but for something like the Ramio or the other one, it would be really good. Actually, the Dramiel is still Afterburner, isn't it? Yeah, this one's still Afterburner. I guess you could go either way. Doesn't really matter. Alright. Let's look at this stuff real quick, make sure there's nothing I need. Can't really sell that for anything. Yeah, I think we're just gonna reprocess this all. So 289,000 from the minerals that we got. And then we have to decide what to do with these. Because right now, we can sell them and get 71 million. That would be a pretty big jump in our income. I just don't know if it's worth doing right now. Or if we wait longer and see if prices go up more. By the way, that's where we are at for today. 10.4 million. Not including the little bit of bounty tick that we're waiting on. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me today. We had a lot of success, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, and be safe.